This is the light over top of your stove. That's your exhaust fan right here. And with your stove here, what I always recommend, anytime you've had your propane cut off, and you're getting ready to use this, one of the very first things you want to do when you come in here is come in here and light these 3 eyes with something. The reason is when you turn your propane off, propane has a tendency to seep down. It puts air in your system, and the fastest way to purge your system is by lighting these 3 eyes here. Let them stay lit 10 to 15 seconds. I'm not going to light the other 2 because there's no air in the system fast as that lit, okay? Now, once you get the air off the system, you go to light it, you can use your igniter. Always turn this to the right, never back to the left, because you got a little spring in there. If you turn it back to the left too many times and mess that spring up, you can't replace the spring. You got to replace that whole unit. To light your pilot on your oven, you got to press this in, turn it to where it says pilot on. As you're lighting your pilot, you want to press this in and hold it. And you hold it in for a few seconds.
Were you holding that when you lit that?
You have to hold it in. If you don't hold it in, it's not going to light.
Okay.
All right? And then you turn that on, your burner will light right away. Once your burner lights and you cook, then if you want to shut your burner down and leave your pilot on, you go back to where it says pilot on. That'll shut your burner down, leave your pilot lit, and you go to off when you want to cut your pilot off. All right. Any questions on that?
No. So if you're staying in one place, do you recommend leaving the pilot on or not?
Well, it's your option. You know, you can.
It's personal preference.
See, I guess I wouldn't. And the only reason I wouldn't, I think about the older units that when you were lighting a pilot, when you lit your pilot and turned your oven on, your flame got larger. That had to heat a thermocouple up. Once it heated the thermocouple up to a certain temperature, then the valve released the gas to your burner. This don't go through all that. Just lights right away.
So just light it when you need it, pretty much.
It's just quick to me.
Sure, yeah, it is.
But for somebody that don't want to fool with relight, lift on that and bring that forward. That covers that. Right here, this is your monitor panel here. First of all, these 2 switches up above, that's for your water heater, which I was telling you I didn't know whether you had a switch inside for electric, but you do.
Okay, so
that's it right there. So you can get the one outside, turn it on, forget it's there. And anytime you want to heat by electric, you just turn this on here, okay? Now this is for propane here. When you turn that on, when this red light goes out, that's letting you know it lit. If that light would go out and come back on, pretend you did not light. And the only thing you could do with that is shut it off, turn it back on. Should reset itself and light. The only thing I know would make that happen without something being wrong is if you still had air in the system. That's why I'm showing you how to purge your system first. And it's lit. You can hear it blowing. Can you hear it? I can.
Yeah, I hear, but I thought it was traffic.
No, you can go outside if you want to look.
No, I'll take your word.
Okay. Huh? Okay, now what you're hearing, that little roar, when I cut it off, you won't hear it.
Okay,
yeah, noticeable.
Okay, cut the light off on that. Right here with your refrigerator here.
When I'm sorry, I just when you turn that on, what is that providing gas to?
Water heater only.
Oh, water heater. Gotcha.
Yeah, this is your switch for your water heater, your electric and your water heater.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Perfect.
Now, right down here, this is where you turn your water pump on. So if you're out dry camping, you just turn this on and leave it on. And your pump is a on-demand pump. As you open your faucet, your pump will come on and shut itself down once it repressurizes your system. Right here, where it says battery, when I press that, you got 3 lights on. So that's telling me it's not fully charged. It's in good, showing good. Read on the right side, LFG and C, which means low, fair, good, and charged. Fresh water tank. Well, they need to empty that. Got your fresh water tank full. I don't know why they didn't empty it. But your black water tank is empty and your gray water tank is empty. So I'll get them after we get finished with this walkthrough, or once, well, you're going to hook up. Once you pull out, I'll open the valve up on your fresh water tank so it'll drain down.
Sounds good.
Any questions there? All right. Right here, this is your refrigerator here, and this is your on and off button here. And right now it's on automatic. That's where I recommend run it all the time, because when you have it on automatic and you turn this on, what it does is searches for electric first. If electric's not there, it automatically goes to propane. So I never see a reason to take it off of that, but you have the option to let that button out. When you let that button out, now it'll run only on propane. How you know it lit? As long as this check light don't come on. Anytime that check light comes on, it's telling your unit's gone off for some reason. Two things can make this go off without something being wrong when you're running on propane. That's if you park this on too much of a grade. This has to be parked level as possible when you're running on propane. Or if you're out dry camping and you let your battery go down, that'll shut this down also. Even though it doesn't run off the battery, it needs continuity from that just to make the functions work. So once you level this up or charge your battery up to reset it, just hit your on and off button, should reset itself and start cooling. Again, I recommend keep it on automatic. This unit automatically sets its own temperature, so there's no thermostat on here. And this is your freezer here, where you can see it's cold. These are all your instructions here, should you forget anything I told you.
Perfect.
And it's your refrigerator here. Any questions there?
No.
All right. Okay. This is your intake here. Now this vent here, anytime, the only time you open these vents here is if you're here cooking. Heat this area up and you want to cool this area faster, then you would open these vents up.
Gotcha.
All right.
That makes sense.
But
Otherwise, it runs through the ducting.
Huh?
Otherwise, it's gonna just.
No, don't run through the duct. Everything's up at top.
Oh,
There's
okay.
all your ducts up here in the ceiling.
Okay. That's heat down there.
Air conditions up top, heat's down in the bottom.
How about
Okay.
changing the filter?
Huh? Changing the filter, turn that little screw there, and drop your grill. Take your filter, wash your dirt off, shake it back up there, put it's reusable. You don't have to change it out.
Perfect.
Okay? But anytime you want your unit to cool evenly, you want to have these closed. Any questions there?
It's like it's nice and cool.
Yeah.
All right.
How about heat? The heat.
Heat's in the bottom.
Right here, with your thermostat, you got cool is your air condition.
Yep.
And then you got your fan mode there. And that's your off mode. And then when you turn your heat on, which I'm going to set that, when you turn your heat on, your fan comes on first, then your furnace ignites. So it's about a minute and a half before you feel heat coming out your vents. All your vents are going to be in the floor or near the floor. So I'm going to let that stay on until you feel heat. Over here, when your air conditioner's on, you got high and low automatic, or you go over here high and low on. This is for your air conditioning only. On automatic, that's where it'll cut on and off according to wherever you set your thermostat. If you put it over here on this where it says on, you're taking it off the automatic mode. Where it's in the manual mode, it's just constantly going to run.
Okay.
Any questions there? All right.
Is that
That's the thermostat.
okay? It's not digital.
Huh?
Okay.
All right. You got this little knob here that you pull out, and then this lets on down. Okay. And then
Get it on the track.
put that over. That fits right in there. And then you would take your two back cushions and put there, and that makes your bed.
Wow.
Now, also, what I recommend when you're traveling, to travel with it in that mode. That way it's not standing up dancing while you're traveling. Okay, you got heat coming out your vents because I can smell it. And also, I'm going to cut that off since you felt it.
I'm not feeling. Oh yeah, now I am.
All right. Until you burn that odor off, that might set your smoke detector off
Okay.
right here. You might even have to pull that battery.
How long does it take to for that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But this is a 9-volt battery that operates that. Right down here, this is your propane gas detector here, test button right there. And this is the main thing here. Anytime you come in here, you want to look down there and make sure that green light's on. If that green light's not on, that's telling me it's not working. That's the most important thing in here. Because propane is such, if you get a leak by the time you smell it, it's at or near an explosive stage. So you always want to make sure that's working. Anytime you get a red light audible alarm, that's telling you it's detected gas or something. What the something is, these detectors are very sensitive to the fact that different things will set them off. Just about any type of aerosol you spray in here will set it off. Heavy scented things like fingernail polish remover or ammonia might set it off. So if it goes off, I always recommend you might think about what activity was going on. And if you know you were doing something to set it off, no problem. But if it goes off and you don't know what went off,